So if we're gonna do this, we need to like, you know, I need to just film you whenever I want.
That's fine. I'll get used to it. It's fine.
Go.
I'm loving it.
Do you eat fast food often?
Yes, I do. I'm a KFC person. You wouldn't think it from my svelte physique and my perfect skin, but I actually eat a lot of fast food. I love it.
As a British guy, why do you care about American politics? Why does it matter about our culture of politics?
I don't care about politics per se that much. I care about the ideals on which I think America was founded, which sounds very grand, but I think America is almost that sort of perfect distillation of freedom, free speech, liberty, you know, the idea that anybody can be, do, or say anything, can become anything. Now, I live in Europe, I live in London, and things can be very restrictive there. There are all of these sort of caveats on free speech and the sort of things that you're allowed to say. I've found America a more natural home for me. I've found people love me in America. You know, they really get off on this flamboyant Brit who's just, you know, will just say any crazy thing, like, you know, so how does he get away with it?
I worked for Milo at the Colonel, and we were friends for about 8 years, and he's probably the worst person I've ever met in my life.
Where are we going now?
Caught me with my mouthful again. We're here for the Joe Rogan podcast. I'm a big fan of his. He saw that I was in California. He's invited me to come and chat on his show, so we're looking forward to having a nice chat. But we can't find the right door, so we'll have to leave you.
Do you prepare for these things?
No, of course not. No, I mean, I would if I were a little more organized, but I've always managed to wing it.
So you were just with Milo. What are your thoughts, Joe?
He's hilarious. A lot of fun. He's a very good talker. He's built for this sort of format. He writes great columns, but he's great at talking too. He's fun to debate with.
Was there anything surprising about him?
The Christian thing was surprising, but I guess if he's going for that whole right-wing angle, I kind of get it. I guess I get what he's doing. You know, I understand what he's how he's leaning.
The gay thing's pretty interesting.
Yeah, the fact that he wishes he wasn't gay, that's funny. Yeah, that it's something he doesn't like about himself, that he doesn't like gay people. It's kind of hilarious. But it's him, you know. He's a very unique guy. He's very unique in his ability to express himself, unique in the way he writes, and, you know, he points out a lot of bullshit. He's very good at that.
What about that fucking hair?
His hair's fantastic. It's crazy.
I want America to be fun. I want America to laugh. And I think America has been overrun by nannying, pearl-clutching, fainting couch lunatics. I want America to stay fun and to stay free.
I'm Alan Bakari. I'm a reporter for Breitbart News. I work for Milo, covering technology stories.
What's that like, working for Milo?
Milo is, I mean, he's all right, I guess. We give him about a 6 out of 10, maybe.
He would never respond to emails. He was late on everything. He did not know what he wanted. Have I mentioned that he's a sociopath?
Do you drink a lot of coffee?
Only when I want to throw up. If I've been drinking a lot. I was out late last night in some club with strippers, and it was horrible.
There are a number of occasions where I've seen Milo get stressed. It's normally when his hair isn't looking good, when he's lost one of his favorite pies. One of the things you do a lot traveling with Milo is hang around in hair salons waiting for him to finish.
I'm Milo Yiannopoulos for Breitbart News here in Los Angeles. I recently attended the Amber Rose Slut Walk, a feminist walk put on by former 15-year-old stripper and Kanye West's ex-girlfriend, Amber Rose. Let's take a look, shall we? We're not being allowed anywhere near her. Her security is very, very tight right now, but she's here with seeing some of her fans. She's certainly dressed for the occasion, so we're happy about that.
So you were almost just arrested at the slut walk.
I was. The LAPD came down and told us we had to move because, well, first of all, they said we couldn't film in there, even though everybody else was filming there, and then they said we didn't have tickets, although we did, and then they sort of invented these fake press pass things that we were supposed to have. Basically, they didn't like the fact that we were taking the mickey out of them. I had a placard that said, rape culture is like Harry Potter, it's fantasy. And they didn't take very kindly to that because, as we know, feminists very often, very rarely enjoy being the butt of jokes.
You weren't afraid at all. I was surprised.
No, why
You stood there and that little cop came up to you and you just were looking down at him, and what did you say to him?
Why would you be afraid of the police? They're there to protect us. It's feminists I'm scared of.
That can't be him. Is that him?
Ridiculous human being, lovely though. He works very hard, and you know what I've learned about Milo from this past week is the reason he's successful and he always wins is because he's gay, he's funny, and he doesn't get mad.
How in the fuck did he manage to get on a billboard?
It's such a wonderful moment in culture right now because on the rise, on the decline is the horrible, oppressive political correctness of yesterday. On the rise is this strident, mischievous, fabulous cultural libertarianism.
He does love the camera and the internet and TV and anywhere where he can be the center of attention.
You love Twitter. Tell me about Twitter, please.
Twitter is the best and the worst thing in my life. I have this, I like to think I'm the same publicly and privately. I can be a bit more thoughtful, a bit more serious when you catch me in a situation like this. But on Twitter, it's kind of like Milo Unfiltered. It's a very bombastic, silly sort of version of me, and I'm constantly talking about black dick and politics and being gay and all the things that I love. And I've sort of developed this persona that seems to be really catching on with people. It's really it's developed a life of its own.
Well, one of the things people always say is that his real life persona is exactly the same as his Twitter persona, which isn't entirely usual. Sometimes people put on an act for social media, but with Milo, his social media personality and his real life personality are pretty much the same.
He's horrible. He's a sociopath.
Who are you?
I'm Shanley, motherfucker!
So you had some Twitter fights with Nero that were kind of crazy.
He's a patriarchal motherfucker! I'd love to take his balls, put them in his mouth, and then cut his throat, and then take his balls out through his throat! He's a patriarchal motherfucker!
It really gets nasty, and to the point where you left Twitter for a while. Why did you do that?
Because I couldn't take that patriarchal motherfucker! All of his friends harassing me, bullying me, making fun of my mental health, making fun of my looks. They're animals! Animals! He should be banned from Twitter forever!
You love the attention.
Everybody
You love attention.
That's a horrible allegation.
Talk to me about fame.
People have rightly noticed that I quite enjoy attention, and I do, and I'm not going to lie about it. I think I'm quite good at getting attention. I'm quite good at attention seeking generally. I like to think I'm doing it for a good reason. I like to think that and I think I am. The ultimate message of me being this outrageous, flamboyant, gay commentator who never shuts up about black dick. I think there's it's nice for people to see that and say, well, at least somebody has the freedom to be outrageous these days. For me, the only appropriate response to outrage culture is to be outrageous. The only appropriate response to people who want to shut you down, who want to say that, you know, certain words are racist or sexist or whatever, and, you know, want to kill creativity, kill comedy. I think the only approach to that is to rub their noses in it, is to laugh, is to ridicule them, is to be as outrageous as possible. That's got me a lot of attention. It's got me a lot of fans. You know, everywhere I go, people just like, I've never in my life wanted people to have to get my autograph before. I mean, it's just an extraordinary thing. I've never experienced this until the last year.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, the fame aspect. You want to be famous.
I don't think I crave fame for its own sake. I don't think that, I mean, I've been in Hollywood for 2 weeks, and I've seen people who want to be famous for the sake of being famous. People whose only talent, whose only raison d'etre is that they just want to be on a magazine cover. Sure, I'll take it, but that's not all there is to me. And I think that there are some important things to say about the way that society is going in America, the sorts of limits that people are placing on free speech. And I mean, you know, look, sure, I love attention. And, you know, it's easy to understand why people might want to give me it. But I think there's something more important and more serious to it than that. I got involved in this because I saw a group of people who were being lied about, were being called names, and this is the sort of thing I always thought journalism was about. You were supposed to, you know, tell the stories of people who don't have a platform, who, you know, are going up against big authorities and who don't necessarily have anyone to speak for them. So I thought I would do it, and I was interested in it, you know, and it was a good story, and so I pursued it. And it wasn't really until I met these guys that I realized just how lovely they are and how sweet, smart, fascinating people they are. And these people that, you know, I'd mocked them in the past for being basement-dwelling nerds. You know, I'd mocked them in the past for sort of having yellowing underpants and, you know, and being autistic and all the rest of it. And some of them are like that. But my general feeling about the gamers that I've met is that they're really good, decent people. And I have to say, when I realize they're not the bad guys, and when I set them against these feminist crazies, the progressive bloggers, the games press, and I realize just how pernicious and unpleasant and nasty the lies are that are told about them. You know, I just thought to myself, fuck those guys, because these are good, decent people who just want to be left alone to enjoy their hobby. They're sick of being lied about by the press. They're sick of being abused and ridiculed, called man babies. They're sick of being told that their skin color and sexuality is, that there's something wrong with that. You know, the straight white male is the lowest difficulty setting. All that stuff we see in progressive journalism these days. And I'm not serious that often. I like to approach most things with sort of ridicule and silliness, but I did get genuinely indignant about that. You know, I really felt for these people, and I've also felt something in common with them, because I too have, you know, been a bit of a dork and been a bit of an outsider and a bit of a sort of dissident figure. I've never really felt like I belonged, and that's much of the reason why some of them play video games. And so yeah, I got indignant on their behalf, and I've been trying to fight for them ever since.
I wish that people would just wake up and realize that he's just a public troll, adding nothing to the discourse.
All right, so I'm with you, and you have a big board here with all of these people on it. Walk me through this, please.
Right, we don't know very much about this individual. We know that he was on a game show once. He calls himself the Stormtrooper, and has a habit of what they call white knighting a bunch of other people on the internet. There's a mysterious figure, caused a lot of controversy. We know her as the John. She may or may not have bored her own dog to death. Further down we have the Randy Hooker. That's the closest we can get to a real name. We know that she's on drugs. We were thinking that these people are getting their criminal funding from a website where other miscreants can throw in funds. We're not really sure about that yet. The center of this controversy, the person we're really trying to get to, is called the Damsel. It's the best we've got. There's some other kind of person called Macintosh we think is the real big cheese behind all of this. We've never been able to track them down. The real brains behind the whole Gamergate case, we're still trying to find out. We have no idea. Over in the triangle of crazy, we've got some people on the periphery of the issue. This person we know is
in difficulty. We tried to reach out to her. We tried to communicate with her to ask her what she knows about the case, and she's only described herself in profanity. So we're a bit worried about that. Mr. Ethics is a mystery to us. We have no idea why he behaves as he does, but we're going to find out some more about him. And there's the hand egg man who has no known connections at all and just generally sits around making a mischief of himself. This is the most complex case I've ever been involved in. I'm just appealing to the public at this point for help. If you know any of these people, please get in touch with us. If you have any information that can help us resolve the Gamergate controversy, please just contact us. I don't need a bodyguard. I'm not going to have a bodyguard. I'm not going to... No, look, I don't want it. I don't want a bodyguard. I don't need it. It's just attention seeking. It's ridiculous. And it just gives like validation to this feminist nonsense. I don't want them to know they're costing me money. Like, I don't need a bodyguard.
I'm paying for it, and you know what? You do need a bodyguard, and he's on his way, and just behave yourself, all right?
I really don't... Look, I'm not being funny. I'm genuinely fine. Like, let's not fall out about it. I don't want to show up to this place with a bodyguard, okay?
Okay. He'll be here any minute. Joe, if you hear bomb, jump on Milo. If you see a knife, jump on Milo. If you see a gun, jump on Milo. And most importantly, if you see a radical feminist, jump on Milo. All right, so we just finished with Gamergate. There was no bomb threat.
No bomb threat.
Disappointing.
No,
Because
it's
you
disappointing.
told him to jump on me if there was a bomb threat. I feel robbed.
I'm surprised you didn't call one in yourself.
What's the most embarrassing thing you've seen him do?
Ooh, there are so many examples. It's hard to pick one.
We are at the studios of Aura TV. We're here to film an episode of the Rubin Report with Dave Rubin. We're going to be talking about free speech and the internet and crazy feminists. Yeah.
Who's Dave Rubin?
Dave Rubin used to be on the Young Turks, but he was far too good for them, so they're a terrible, disreputable liberal media outlet. So now he works for Larry King's internet channel, Aura TV. He's a liberal gay, and I'm a conservative gay, and we're going to see if we have anything in common on free speech.
So a liberal gay and a conservative gay.
Yeah.
In a converted church.
In a converted, yeah, no, I wasn't. No, it's actually a rectory, so I think we're okay.
Oh, how surprising, you're in hair and makeup. You were just in the chair about to start your hair, now you're out of the chair. Why
I'm
is
just
that?
causing
Why
problems.
is that?
Well,
Why
no,
are you in the chair? Well, look at what she did to you. So you just spent an hour with Milo, Dave. What do you think?
I mean, the guy is a real piece of work. You know, it's like he has an ability to say some pretty profound things and some pretty deep and edgy things. And then, of course, you know, he's got this wink, like, do I really believe this or am I just pushing stuff? And in either case, I actually respect it because he's pushing conversation, which is exactly what I'm trying to do here. You know, I think with some of the, especially some of the gay marriage stuff and some of that, you know, I sense like within him, deep down there, I can see it in him that, yeah, if he met the right person, he'd be okay with it. You know,
He would
what I mean?
never get married.
You know what?
He's a hedonist.
He is a hedonist. He's a pure hedonist. I'll give you that much. But more than anything else, what I like about this and why I've wanted to meet him for a while is this piece about the cultural libertarians, and that the two of us who have never met before, who are from different countries, who come from the different from the opposite sides on the political divide, that we agree on something that I think really transcends all of it. And it's about protecting free speech. It's about saying things that people don't want you to say. And that's the bigger piece of all this. And that's why he's earned my respect more than anything else. The other stuff we can agree, we can disagree, and it's fun. And it doesn't matter. We can go have a drink later, and we'll forget all about it. But the important piece, that's what it is. So that's my feelings.
What about his hair?
His hair is something. Is it real? It's not real, right?
No, it is.
It's real. That's real. Yeah, I mean, maybe he wants to go in and dye the roots a little bit more, but that's really for his stylist to decide.
Are you interested in love?
No.
Why?
I don't think I'm ready for that. I think I had a messy 20s when I didn't really know who I was. I didn't know what I believed in. I didn't really know who my friends were yet. And I was experimenting and pushing in a lot of different directions, like a lot of people. I think my adolescence lasted quite long into my 20s, and it's only really now, as I got sort of 29, 30, 31, that I think I finally worked out who I am. And I think I'd rather focus on me for a while.
Where are you right now?
I'm at Cantor's. Technically I'm Jewish. Matrilineally speaking, I'm Jewish. My mum's Jewish. My mum's mom is Jewish. I'm the worst Jew ever. I was raised Catholic by my grandmother, my paternal grandmother, and I know nothing about being a Jew. I am the worst Jew in the world. And so I've been brought here. You've brought me here to try some proper Jewish food.
Where are we tonight?
We're at USC. I'm going to speak to the USC GOP, the college Republicans, about feminism, the wage gap, the slut walk I was kicked out of, and various other things.
And they haven't disinvited you?
No, I got banned today from Manchester in the UK, which ironically I used to be a student at, for being dangerous to student safety, if you can believe that. But no, USC so far, no bans. We'll see when we get there.
Jacob Ellenhorn.
And are you part of the group that got Milo here?
Yes, I'm the president of the College Republicans at USC.
Why did you want Milo to speak?
Well, I think that on college campus, people who have different ideas are constantly shut down. I've been shut down multiple times, and I feel that bringing someone to campus who's dealt with that in the media and in a much more public way and dealt with it quite well and gotten his voice out there is a great person to bring to the USC campus.
Was there any pushback?
Absolutely.
British, I'm sorry. I know God save the Queen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, a trigger warning is another invention of the left, which believes that language can shape reality, that wants to insulate people from different ideas, wants to get people out of having to challenge themselves. Some students are demanding trigger warnings on course texts. What it basically means is you'll get a warning, a sticker on the front of the book, or a disclaimer at the beginning of the essay saying, this contains the following things, and if you don't like any of those things, you may wish to opt out of reading it. Now, this is a problem for a couple of reasons. My basic response to this is anybody who demands a trigger warning should be immediately expelled. It's my time now, and I've just been so overwhelmed with the positive response and this huge reaction from the TV shows I've gone on, the radio shows I've done, the people I've met in real life. It's been amazing. And that never happened in England for me, but it's happening in America, and I really love it.
Talk to me about Politicon.
The late Andrew Breitbart had a saying that I think everybody knows now, that politics is downstream from culture. And what he meant by that was once you've started talking about political candidates and policies, you've already lost the argument, because people's perceptions of the world, how they communicate with one another, and some of the assumptions on which their language and beliefs are based come to us through culture. They come to us through movies, books, what you see on TV, and these days video games. And so we did a panel at Politicon exploring that, how you can resist the cultural warriors who want to close down the limits of acceptable speech. Because I believe, as I think most cultural libertarians and classical liberals believe, that the full range of human thought and expression, intellectual inquiry and creativity should be available to everybody. People should make their own minds up about who they want to love, how they want to live, and then even down to political questions, like what the proper limits of the state are and what an individual's relationship with society and with his local community should be like. Now, art tells us about ourselves and about the people that we love and that we live with. And there's no evidence that any kind of art form, particularly video games, can make you violent or make you sexist, as some progressives like to claim, but there is certainly something shaping about art.
I honestly feel like I'm living in a reality TV show. The other night, Alum and I are just sitting in the room, and Milo comes home at like 1 a.m., lies down on the bed, and says, "You know what? I'm only having sex with men who own at least one boat."
So we went to the gun range today.
Yes, we did.
I was shocked to find out that you were raised around guns and you were quite proficient with a gun.
I'm kind of a good shot. I'm really good. I grew up in the countryside, so I've been around guns and animals and all the rest of it. Maybe it's part of the reason why I love American gun culture. I think it's fantastic. I had so much fun today. We shot a Beretta, and then I shot the ultimate handgun of all time, the .357 Magnum, which cannot be beaten.
Feeling lucky? I love shooting, but there's something a little bit different about it in America. Somehow it's more fun.
I'm Josh Lakach.
You're the guy who just took Milo to the gun range.
Yep, we use my own guns, yeah.
Why did you do that?
I wanted to show Milo what being an American was all about,
Is this the first time you've met him?
No.
Oh, you've met him before?
Yeah, I met Milo a week ago, but we met through social media.
And what are your thoughts on him?
I don't agree with Milo on everything, but I think I actually do think he's a genius.
Is there anything you want to say to Milo?
Well, no, I have no words to say to Milo. I'm really happy that chapter of my life is closed and done with.
If you had one piece of advice for the internet / a good friend, what would it be, Milo?
The world is full of people who want to censor you, who want to stop you saying what you want to say, who want to withhold information from you, who want to stop you laughing at them, to stop you criticizing or asking questions about them. But those naturally inquisitive minds, whether they're gamers or channers or just ordinary members of the public who are sick of the media, sick of their politicians, sick of their celebrities, I would say, nothing bad happens to you if you turn around to these people and you tell them to fuck off. We live in a culture of fear and oppression, of these speech codes in the media, endlessly boring political debates. We live in a world where, the entertainment that we consume is policed before we even get to it, where people go back and retroactively change comic books and video games to satisfy the whims of wacky crazies. And all I would say to people who love mischief and fun and free intellectual inquiry, comedy, who have no limits on what they want to explore, what they want to see, those people who like to be outrageous for a living, those people who push the boundaries, keep the faith, because we're on the rise and we're coming for the authoritarians. We are coming for the social justice warriors, and we're going to win. You want to be friends?
Fuck you! Fuck you, I'll never be your friend!